Good evening. Let us chant this mantra. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravanamangalam srimadaatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. We were reading and listening from Bhagavan Sri RamaKrishna. The discussion was going on whether one person should live in the household and realize God, or he should have to leave the household and then become a monk or a recluse to realize God. Sri RamaKrishna said, if you are in the household, if you are a householder, naturally your responsibility is there. Obviously, you have to take all those responsibilities, you have to attain to those, and at the same time, you have to put your mind and soul to God. A little difficult, but possible. But those who can completely renounce, for them, it becomes only one option, to realize God. There is not much other thing to do. So that way it is easy for them. So two different type of lives. Now here someone was asking, said, is there no spiritual discipline leading to realization of the impersonal God? So we discussed in the last time how Sri RamaKrishna is analyzing and giving the reply. So this is the page 350 of the Gospel of Sri RamaKrishna, to which I have given the name Panchama Veda. So it says, is there no spiritual discipline leading to realization of impersonal God? So those who are attending this class, and you mostly know that there are two conceptions, personal God, impersonal God. The God with form and with qualities, with epithets, and God without anything. So obviously we can imagine where there is no images, no qualities, no epithets, nothing is there to concentrate our minds. A mind like ours is so difficult. So obviously the answer, yes, there is, but the path is extremely difficult. I was telling difficult. Sri RamaKrishna is mentioning extremely difficult. The stage is only slowly we can reach to that. When a young person going to attend the school, a class grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, slowly he is moving upward and he is realizing, understanding, analyzing many things. It is all developing year after year. It becomes easy. When he is in the right age and in the right study, he need not to have all those books because it is already there in him. For him it is very easy when he is going and attending a lecture by a renowned professor, noting down his main points. It becomes easy for him, but not for a very young mind. They need whatever that in the front of them. Slowly they can concentrate, they can learn. Same way in the spiritual life. Those who are beginning the spiritual life without any help, you can imagine where they will land, how they will proceed. It's so difficult. Then obviously, in a different way, not directly but indirectly, they are getting the mental support. Some of the signs they will take, and with that help of that sign they are concentrating, etc. Maybe sometimes the candlelight, maybe sometimes this sign, that sign, different type of the spiritual and religious, the signs are there that way. Why those things? Because it helps a human mind to concentrate, to conceive that idea. Hindus, they understood it long back, so obviously they are concentrating in this way that you can develop a relation with the God. How? The God is my mother, God is my father, God is my friend. So different type of relations we can develop. That is the unique way. It becomes easy. I am cooking for God. I am preparing the garland for God. I am offering this thing to God. So in that way, my mind goes to God. That is the easiest, simplest way. The Sri RamaKrishna said it is extremely difficult. After intense austerities, the rishis of the olden times realized God as their innermost consciousness and experienced the real nature of Brahman. Though we are Vedantin, and in Vedanta, you are not supposed to take the help of any images. Even then, the Omkara, so they are giving you an opportunity to concentrate. Om iti Brahma, they say, is the nearest. Then some of the qualities, Sat, Chit, Ananda, Sarupa. How is Brahman? He is existence. We understand existence. Oh, this is existing for so many years, that is there. So, existence. Knowledge, we understand to some extent the knowledge. And bliss, the joy, we understand to some extent the concept of joy, the bliss. So, this is the way it goes. But an aspirant cannot succeed in this form of spiritual discipline if his mind is stained with worldliness, even in the slightest degree. That is very important. Even in the slightest degree, the path of knowledge is very, very clean. Now, the world and spirituality. The worldly things means temporary. Worldly things means temptation. And along with the temptations, the desires, anger, and along with anger, so many other things are all coming. Constantly we know, one after another. We have perfect knowledge about all those things. So obviously, how you will turn your mind, focus your mind and concentrate on God without any form, only consciousness. And how is that consciousness? No one could explain it. It is a direct perception of paraksha anubhuti. When we understand about myself, how I look, I go and stand before a mirror, I look at the mirror, and I know this is me. In this way, in this fashion, I look. So that a conception is there. But about the consciousness, how is that consciousness? A vague idea. Then when we are conscious, we can understand things, we can see things, we can follow things. That's all. That's a vague idea. What is the consciousness actually? That is also we don't know. And when a person who is striving to realize God without any form, without any qualities, obviously that is very difficult. Slightest degree of this worldliness, the mind must withdraw totally from all objects of form, taste, smell, touch and sound. And sometimes many people, they concentrate on taste also. It's a good taste thing, and then they will go on concentrating on that particular taste or the smell. That particular smell, they will concentrate on that smell, or a sound. Most of the people, they will be playing a very soft music before concentration. Why? Because taking the help of the music. But those who are practicing jnana marga, path of knowledge, even that is taboo. Now that you can understand how very, very difficult it is. Only thing to inspire yourself, the Shankaracharya and others, they have composed some of the stotras, and you are chanting the stotras, and the Bhagavad Gita, you are reading those stotras, and then you are having some respite, something to hold on. So can you imagine the mind of a human being? Just imagine that he is sitting in a room where there is nothing, no color at all. Just blank. No picture, no sound, nothing is there. And he is concentrating his mind. So that is the condition. There is another kind of samadhi. Now, Sri RamaKrishna is telling, after explaining that thing, you need samadhi. You like to reach over there, another kind, very easy. Sometimes it occurs. What is that? It's called Unmana Samadhi. Unmana is one attained it by suddenly gathering the dispersed mind. Suddenly sometimes it happened. Then some people, they were talking, suddenly someone told, hey, have you heard there is an accident and you're very near and dear one? In that accident he has passed away. Immediately the shock that comes, he forgets everything all around, including his own person. Only, oh my God. And where his mind goes, he doesn't know. It is impossible to explain even. Not in pain. Had it been in pain, he would have cried out. That comes afterwards. But anyway, Sri RamaKrishna giving an example that this way also people reaches to that condition where mind become one-pointed. The question is to mind become one-pointed. Forgetting each and everything, all these varieties that we see and things that all around us, forgetting that one-pointedness. So that is called, someone has given me one light, a type of light that the military people, they use, a very powerful light. But you can spray the light and you can at the same time concentrate. And when you are concentrating that, you have to adjust and it will become very concentrated light. Only that particular spot you can focus, and it's so strong. So when the moment the mind becomes focused, naturally it becomes very strong, and to focus that you have to adjust your mind, withdraw from all other things that I have done. The known people, names, forms, taste, smell, all those things we have to withdraw, and that way. And it can be, certainly it can happen sometime to some people, and that particular position is termed as Unmana Samadhi. Mind, mana, absent. So Unmana, the completely absent mind, suddenly it happens. So here it says, you understand what does it mean? He is asking. The Sri RamaKrishna is asking his disciple him, yes sir, yes, it is the sudden withdrawal of the dispersed mind to the ideal. But that samadhi does not last long. Worldly thoughts intrude and destroy it. A yogi slips down from his yoga. So suddenly the mind goes over there, but as because it is not properly prepared to go there, so obviously it cannot remain over there for long. When other things are happening around, immediately minds come down. So that happens. And worldly people may now and then experience samadhi. Many of the people you will hear, they will say, I have seen Thakur coming in this form, Ma Kali, giving their nothing. This is very good. Instead of seeing only these and that, different type of the dreams, even if dream, if we see Thakur, that is good. But sometimes we think that is the ultimate. No, wrong. That because the mind is thinking on Sri RamaKrishna and the subconscious mind is also, it is there, so it comes. You will see that when you are in difficulty, particularly in fear, then maybe suddenly the images or the pictures in dream of your father or mother or someone whom you can depend and you used to depend on that, they come. And they come and they say, oh, no problem, I am with you, etc., etc. It is actually from the subconscious mind is come and giving us the support. It was already there. I used to depend on her or him. And now that my mind in such a condition, it cannot think, it cannot have that type of strength to think, then suddenly we go back to that stage and it comes. Similarly, the God also. Nothing wrong, nothing bad, this is also good. But that is not final. That one should know. In the spiritual level, in the spiritual journey, that is a little advancement, that's all. And it gives us interest, we can feel, oh, this is so nice. If I still practice, then we can go on doing it like this. So the lotus bloom, no doubt, when the sun is up, but its petal close again when the sun is covered by a cloud. Worldly thoughts is the cloud. So whenever the other thoughts are coming, that is the cloud covering the mind, again we forget. So sometimes you will see that the people who are coming and becoming the monk and the nun, they are practicing, and the spiritual life in the beginning, they are so sincere, they are practicing, doing, and after some time, they forget a little bit of it. That becomes almost like a daily routine. But that love, that just, that deluses. And that is a dangerous thing. Because you have come for this particular purpose and then you forget the purpose. You are just living life like that. It's a complete wastage, total wastage. So that is the reason Swami Vivekananda, Sri RamaKrishna, Ma Sharada introduced the selfless service. The selfless service also helps us. We cannot keep our mind constantly on the conscious level. So that is the reason one should be careful. And now RamaKrishna Mission unified 4 different paths together. That helps. Only meditation is really, really difficult. And when you are not getting success, you become frustrated, and maybe majority of the time, people become hypocrite. They are not meditating, but they practice to sit on the squatting position for a long time. That's a practice only. And they'll be sitting there for a long time, and people think he is meditating. He has closed his eyes, thinking something else, or sleeping. Whatever is a hypocrisy that he developed, because there is no other way. He cannot realize God, and he don't have that type of love, the eagerness to practice. It's really, really challenging for the spiritual people. And RamaKrishna Mission in the new, this is the new introduction. And you will see in our symbol, all the 4 yogas are there. And if one sincerely practicing with the faith, as because Sri RamaKrishna said and practiced, as because Ma Sharadamani Devi said and practiced, Swami Vivekananda said, practiced and introduced, and all the great souls like the direct disciples of Sri RamaKrishna, they have said, we have realized that. So have faith and practice. What are that? Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. The devotion, and then the knowledge, and also the selfless work, and of course meditation. Only meditation is very difficult. Only reading the books and discussing and practicing the path of jnana as a sort of a, there's sometimes some people, they prefer to do that. They're actually hypnotizing themselves. Oh, I am reading the book, and that is called Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means with the faith I am studying. Very few can do that. Not that it is not there, it is there, but very, very difficult. Not only Bhagavan Sri RamaKrishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna is also telling, it's very difficult. And then he is also speaking about the 4 yogas. If you can do like this, do. If can't, this. Different type of yoga he has introduced, Sri Krishna. Here, the path of knowledge is difficult. Unmana samadhi, sudden realization, that is also possible, but that won't continue. And then he says, isn't it possible to develop both jnana and bhakti? The aim, Master Maharshaya is asking. Now, all these days, up to page 350, he was going on talking about only jnana. Because in those days, in the society, they used to talk about the God without any form. With form, how God, the Supreme God, all-pervading God, all-powerful God, can be in a small image, or in a picture, or in a symbol. How it is possible? So that is why the confusion was there, and a group of people, different groups also that came up, and they were telling, why not? In our Veda, there is also there that you need not to bother about the images. That is also possible. So that was the wave, it was going on, and Sri Master Maharshaya, he was also carried by that wave. So constantly he was thinking, is it not? Now he is thinking, oh, as because the Master is telling it is very difficult, okay, now let that be there. In addition, bhakti, he is asking this question. Isn't it possible to develop both jnana and bhakti by the practice of spiritual discipline? Then Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer. Through the path of bhakti, a man may attain them both. He is talking with aim. You have to understand. That was Sri Ramakrishna, a great master. He could understand the psychology of a person. He knew that he is thinking that he will become a good singer or a good scientist, but he is not having that capacity. So obviously what will be beneficial, that is the Guru. Guru knows what is beneficial, what is good for the particular person. And he is helping him in that way. He is the guide, spiritual guide. And not only that, he is a realized soul. He himself passed through that path. So obviously he understood that. He is telling, through the path of bhakti, a man may attain them both. Why? Master Maharshaya, inside, it was all bhakti, all devotion. He wanted to depend on God. Knowledge means no dependency. And that strong mind, it was absent in Master Maharshaya. So but about Swami Vivekananda, who wanted to become a devotee, he said, no, your path is jnana. And that young Naren, he fought and he said, no, this is very bad to think that I am God. How can that be? I am making mistakes, I have desire, I have so many other things. How can be a perfect God? Sri Ramakrishna used to say, but you sing, yo kuch hai to tu hi hai. Are you beyond that? Anything that you see is nothing but you, God. You are also same. So why don't you follow that? He was helping him to follow the path of knowledge, whereas he is constantly inspiring Master Maharshaya to follow the path of bhakti. So Master Maharshaya asking this question, and he is telling it is possible. Through bhakti you can get. He is not telling through jnana you can develop. through bhakti, jnana will also come. And he said, a highly qualified aspirant may develop both jnana and bhakti at the same time. A highly qualified aspirant, a desirous to realize God. And what is that quality? Knowledge and devotion together. Then he is giving. Such is the case with the Ishvara Koti. Ishvara Koti, again, this is the classification of the devotees, the students who are seriously following the path of spirituality. And Ishvara Koti is the highest. Ishvara means God. And they belong to that particular category of God. So Ishvara Koti, their thinking, their capacity, mental strength, clearness, mental thing, everything is so different. Chaitanya, for example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So naturally we can understand. But the case of ordinary devotees, it is different. Then he said, there are 5 kinds of light. The light of a lamp, that is also light. There's also dispersing the darkness. That also helps you to see things. But it is a small little light, only illuminating a little area. That's all. Light of a lamp. And light of various kinds of fire. Sometimes small fire, sometimes big fire. That's also light. It is also illuminating the area. It helps to see things. And light of the moon. You can see all things in the world in the light of moon, but not as clear as in the light of sun. So he says, the light of sun is very clear. Lastly, the combined light of sun and the moon. That means day and night, 24 hours, you are illumined. Bhakti is the light of the moon. Jnana is the light of the sun. So through bhakti, maybe there's a little mist. Maybe that it is not that clear as in the daytime, but you can see, and very comfortable. So in the daytime, your mind is sometimes will see God, realize God, but constantly it will be enlightened. It will never going to be dark. And in the jnana, sometimes it comes, it is so bright. So bhakti and jnana, we can think of that condition of Sri Krishna when he was giving that Gita, Bhagavad Gita, he was going on giving the advice to that Arjuna, because that was a crucial time, very critical time. Arjuna was the main hero, basing on whom Sri Krishna, the Lord, the God, he made everything. Now suddenly that very person, the Arjuna, he was confused. He was thinking whether I will fight or not, whether I will take the other qualities like the Brahmanas, begging and leaving somehow. Here the Krishna, the God, he gave the light of Gita. That's just like the sun, very bright, very clear. Afterwards, Arjuna himself admitted, Nashta moha smritil labda tat prasadat mayachita. He achyuta. I have moha. Moha means the delusion. So that has been gone. And I have understood the truth, what I should do. Now I am clear. Then the war and all those things were over. They won the battle, and after that one day, once again he was asking the Krishna to repeat. Can you please repeat those things? That was wonderful, but I have forgotten some of the teachings of yours. He said, I cannot repeat that. Because he was connected with that particular position of mind, the God himself that he was revealing. But it came down. But does it mean that Krishna lost that knowledge? No, it was there. So in the RamaKrishna, in all the avatars, It is the moon and the sun. You will wonder, a tribal group in Arunachal Pradesh, they worship Doni Polo. There is also sun god and moon god, day and light. Constantly God is present. There will be not a single moment when God is not there. It's a wonderful conception. So, sun god and moon god, Doni Polo. So, this is the thing that Sri Ramakrishna is telling, and then it says, Bhakti is the light of the moon. It is also light, but very comfortable light. And Jnana is the light of the sun. Today morning, I went out. Swami Ishatmananda from Germany came. In the morning, we wanted to have a walk after the breakfast. I thought it's okay. And someone told in America, you must have the sunlight, it is necessary, etc. So I went out. But it was impossible. After almost 15-20 minutes, I was compelled to come inside. Just so burning heat was there. But in the night, when the moonlit night is there, and you feel very, very charmed to walk in the moonlit night. As long as you are there, no harm, no problem. There is also light, that also you can see, you can enjoy everything. But that is the bhakti, that is the devotion. And it says, in an incarnation of God, one sees at the same time the sun of knowledge and the moon of love. This is the indication Sri Ramakrishna himself. Those who were observing Sri Ramakrishna very closely, those who could, they could realize that this is not an ordinary person. Though apparently he looks like a very ordinary, he talks in a very simple way, but he is not ordinary. When he goes and stands before a very highly knowledgeable person, like Keshav Chandra Sen and other Pandits, they were actually educated, learned people in the spirituality and the religion. They were nowhere. And he used to tell them those things in such a soft and nice way, not that they used to feel insulted. Rather, they got benefit of that knowledge. That knowledge became perfect with the help of Sri Ramakrishna. And that is the reason Sri Ramakrishna used to go and see anywhere, anyone sincerely trying. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna used to go over there to help them. And in that way, in their own way, he used to tell, why don't you do like this? This will be, I think, beneficial for you. And some people, majority of the people, they liked it. They could not defeat him in argument. A man who never attended any school, a man who never read the scripture, but he himself was the Veda, source of knowledge. And we are reading the books and then memorizing it, and then we are going and trying to teach people, arguing. But his source was himself. So that is the reason afterwards Swami Vivekananda wrote, Advaya Tatta Samahita Chittam Projjala Bhakti Patabrita Vrittam. His mind inside, that was the jnana, knowledge. But apparently, bhakti. He is running to the mother, Ma Kali. He is also going and crying and praying to Krishna. And he is all going and worshipping Shiva. He is going and taking the holy dip in the Ganga. He is traveling to different holy places on pilgrimage. And he is going and trying to listen to the discourses of the different holy men. All these things, devotion. But the moment it comes, immediately that knowledge. Any mistake they are doing, no, it is not like this, it should be like this. And that he started when he was very young. He went to see how the people are making the images of gods and goddesses. And the sculpturist, They're in the villages. And he saw when they are making the eyes, he told, no, this is not the eyes of the gods or goddesses. It should be like this. He himself drew that. It should be very compassionate. Most of the cases we see, the Hindus, they know, when they are making the image, that is goddess Durga or Kali, they make it in a ferocious way, as if that mother is very angry. From the eyes, as if the fire is coming out. No, that is wrong. That even the eyes is very compassionate. And when he is looking at the devotee and his creation, his children, how the mother can be angry? She is so compassionate, looking at her creation, her children, and she is helping them. All that we see is all, the Hinduism is very, very symbolic. All those things, they are helping them to go beyond ignorance. So cutting, not killing them, but destroying their ignorance. That is the idea. So naturally the eyes should be very full of compassion. So here Sri RamaKrishna is telling, can everyone by mere wish develop knowledge and love at the same time? It's not so easy. But it is possible to obtain God's grace just like that. Ordinary people, we are trying to realize God. Majority of us, we don't have that clear idea, conception of religion. What is religion? We do not know. Majority of us, we consider miracle as religion. We consider supernatural power as religion. If I say that I will do it for you, I will cure all these medicines are not necessary, I will look at you and cure all your diseases, all people will run for you. Is a religious man religion? Wrong. Religion has nothing to do with all those things. Only giving the clear direction about the realization of the self, of the God, which is completely different from the body, completely separated from the worldly things. Name, fame, all those things are not at all connected with that. So many of the people, they will go and pour a lot of gold and other jewelries. They'll be giving to the God, where the other human beings suffering just in front of the temples. They are sitting, begging a morsel of food. They will never look at them. Wrong conception. So this is the thing, the first and foremost. And Sri RamaKrishna, when he said, the aim stood silent. Because we can understand just one or two things that he is mentioning. Aim means the master marcher. And he is very courteous, very gentle. He is not mentioning in details. But we can understand how he was thinking. Shall I have to give up the path of jnana? Shall I have to follow the path of bhakti? But I do not know how to practice bhakti. It is not very natural with me. I rather can discriminate. I rather can read books, try to understand. So shall I have to give up the knowledge and go for the bhakti? Or I will stick to knowledge only? What shall I do? Because his guru is telling like that. So he is a little in a very difficult situation. Stood silent. Master too remained silent. Usually Sri RamaKrishna always try to explain. Here he is not. Why? He is giving the opportunity to this devotee, his disciple, to ponder over, to think over clearly what path he should take. This is the thing. If you follow this path, you are going in this way. And this, if you are following in this way. After that he is silent. You choose. So it was going on in the different type of other discussions are going, they were having. And I come to page 352, where Sri RamaKrishna is telling Master Mahashaya, I shall have to tell you something of the 6 centers. The mind of the yogi passes through these, and he realizes God through his grace. Have you heard of the 6 centers? Why suddenly Sri RamaKrishna talking? Now before that, I just skipping those things, passages. Master Mahashaya, after this, the last conversation that you heard, then he went into a deep jungle where Sri RamaKrishna practiced meditation. No one ever visited that. That was full of bushes and jungle. That was a bell tree was also there. He used to go and Sri RamaKrishna used to go and meditate, but there's a very difficult place. Master Mahashaya, after that conversation, when Sri RamaKrishna mentioned that you have to practice a lot, then only, so that night, without going to bed, he went into that. Sri RamaKrishna gazed, there's something that's going on. So after some time, he came to that place, found him out, consoled him, and he was telling, you are practicing meditation? Okay. I will tell you about the 6 centers. These 6 centers are the yoga practices. Most of the people nowadays all over the world, because the yoga has become so popular, they all know about it. Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Agga Chakra, these are the 6 centers. And the power that they say, that goes up one after another, and different type of flowers as if open up. That's all yogic, not that the doctor can operate and find it out, no. So he was talking about that, and suddenly Master Mahashaya, as because he used to practice Jnana Yoga, instead of referring about the yoga, Master Mahashaya is referring about the Jnana. He said, these are the 7 planes of the Vedanta. Majority of us, we do not know what are the 7 planes of the Vedanta. But Sri RamaKrishna immediately correcting him, rectifying, not the Vedanta, but the Vedas. So correct. Those who are following the path of Jnana, they know there are again, as in 7 stages of yoga, the 7 stages of Jnana is also there. And you will find, even in the Lord Buddha's teachings, 8 stages of Jnana, etc., are there. So, this is the old tradition. They always give all those things in 5 or 3 or 7 or 8, like that type of numbers, only this much that you have to follow. Very specific, but in that one, it is all there. So here, the 7 stages of Jnana. What are those? Let us follow that. It says, Sapta Bhumikas. What does the Sapta Bhumikas mean? 7 stages of the development, spiritual development. Sapta Bhumikas. The 7 stages of the development of the wisdom are described in the Barahu Upanishad. So Sri RamaKrishna said Veda. He never said Vedanta. Vedanta is a different term completely. The Veda means all inclusive. Even the Upanishads, Barahu Upanishads, etc., all come under the Veda. See, so specific. And we think something we have said is almost like that, not almost, specific. So it says, also, Nidaga asked Lord Ribhu. There's a Ribhu Nigada dialogue is there. he says, the Ribhu, about the Jivan Mukti, that is Jnana. You know, when a person is leaving, in that condition, he is totally free from all bondages. So that is the highest thing, that always those who are practicing to the Jnana Marga, their goal is to become Jivan Mukta. After the death, when you are free, if the body after falls and when you are dead, then you are free. That is the different thing. And here it says, Jivan Mukta, you are living in this world but not bound by anything. Shankaracharya said, the human birth is only meant for that. Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti Etave Janmadharitam. Why this Janma? Why this human birth? Only to enjoy this freedom while living. After death, it is different. While I am living, let me enjoy this. That is the ultimate of the Jnana Margis. What are those? First is Subhecha. You will find the Lord Buddha told, because he followed only Veda. So from here only he took and he changed those things. Subhecha, good desire. First and foremost thing in the Jnana Marga, you have to have a good desire. What is that good desire? I want to know who am I in reality. I am living, I am thinking, the same type of thing many others are also doing. Even the different type of animals, birds, creatures, they are also doing. Is there no difference? Who am I? So, vichara. So, subhecha, ichcha means desire, subha, good. So, good desire. What is a good desire? To know myself. Then, vicharana. Vichara, so vicharana, inquiry. Who am I? Where from have I come? When my body is changing, mind is changing, is that everything is changing in that fashion? If mind is changing, body is changing, who is observing these changes? As because if there is nothing permanent, we cannot understand the changes. That is very common knowledge. So what is that which is static, permanent, comparing with which we can understand that my body is changing, mind is changing? So that is called vicharana, inquiry. Tanu manasi, pertaining to the thin mind. Mind, the mana. Now it is so slowly the mind is withdrawing from all the objects. Different type of objects we know. First is that we can see, that is rupa, rasha, shabda, sparsha, gandha. That means the smell or the form, beauty, and we see, and then we hear, we touch, we smell, and all those things, slowly I am withdrawing. So that is called tanu manasi. Tanu manasi. Tanu means it is becoming thin. A person is not eating food. What will happen to his body? Slowly he will lose the weight. He will become lean and thin. Similarly, if the mind is not feeding in the outside objects, it will become lean and thin. So that is the practice pertaining to the thin mind. Then sattvapatti, attainment of the sattva. Sattva gunas, we know all good qualities are sattva. Loving others, caring for others, doing things, helping others without expecting money or respect or recognition. I just help. So all these things are sattva. So that comes in the mind, let me do that. Asama Shakti, then non-attachment. Attachment, non-attachment. These are all common. Again and again we are studying. Those who are studying the Indian philosophy, again and again they say non-attachment. So this is non-attachment will come. Then Padartha Bhavana. Padartha is the object. Bhavana, analysis. Now I think if I am not getting these, I cannot survive. Is it true? The Padartha, the object, if it is not there, I cannot survive. How it is? There are so many people without that they are surviving. How they are surviving? So when you think like that, all anxiety goes. So that is the reason ultimately we have to withdraw our mind and completely concentrate on the thing that we want to realize. So obviously the Padartha Bhavana, that is very, very important. That is the sixth stage, and finally comes Turiya. Turiya means goes beyond the final stage. And just to explain the Turiya in this way, it says, in the very gross level, it's called Vishwa. All the Vishwa that we say, Vishwa means the universe. Whatever in the universe that we see, in the Milky Way, down to the grass, everything is nothing but Vishwa. That is the gross. And then subtle, the terminology, they say Taijasa. Taijasa is a Sanskrit term that means the same thing in a subtle form. Anything that is gross is there, it has a subtle form is also there. And then comes in a bija. Bija means very subtle, but the root, from where it comes, that is called pragya. And then finally, Turiya, going beyond all these three stages. It's not gross, it's not subtle, it's not even the seed-like. Then what is it? Turiya. So they have given the name Turiya. That is the stage. Only you have to go, you have to reach, you have to realize, and then only you will know. Otherwise, it is impossible. So, these are the 7 stages Sri RamaKrishna said. It was again the Friday, December 21, 1883. The Master Mahasaya, he is noting and giving an account, but it is very small account. And he said that after his midday meal, the Master went to the Panchama wearing a beautiful yellow robe. 2 or 3 Vaishnava monks were there, clad in the dress of their sect. Mostly the Vaishnavas, they wear the yellow robe. Sri RamaKrishna put on that yellow and went over there, and he was talking with them, mixing with them about the Vaishnava. This is immediately after the lunch, it's a noon time. After noon, a monk belonging to the sect of Nanak arrived. There are so many different type of people. So he was the living parliament of religion. Different type of people, they are coming to him from different sect, from different faith. And he was worshipping of the formless God. Sri RamaKrishna asked him to meditate as well on God with form. Look at it. The man, he was practicing the Nanaka Panthi. The Nanaka means now they have become completely separated as a different, they call it Sikh religion. This Nanaka Panthi, the Guru Nanak, he was teaching, and they actually propagated same God without form. Why again? Because of the Muslim and afterwards the British, the Christian influences. So it is, to some extent it was confusing. So said, okay, we also believe that God is without form. So Nanak, they also said, okay. So this is the Nanak Panthi. Sri RamaKrishna is advising him to meditate with form. That helps. As we were discussing a little earlier, we were discussing that it helps us. The Master said to him, dive deep. One does not get the precious gems by merely floating on the surface. God is without form, no doubt, but He also has form. By meditating on God with form, one speedily acquires devotion. Then one can meditate on the formless God. It is like throwing a letter away after learning its content, and then setting out to follow its instruction. In another place also he is mentioning, someone wrote a letter. It was misplaced. And the person who wrote is an important person for that particular family. So the head of the family was worried. If I don't follow whatever he has mentioned, written or wanted, it will be difficult then. So he was worried, and suddenly someone found that letter, he brought it, and he found 2-3 things that gentleman who wrote asking for. He memorized those 3 things and then threw that letter to it's over. So similarly, first thing you have to realize God with form, develop concentration with form, and then develop the devotion with form. Then through that, go to without form. This is Sri Ramakrishna. This is the uniqueness. Majority of the people either or. It's not and. They always say without form. But that is the only thing you have to follow. If not, you don't belong to us. Go away. And with form, also only with form, and that too is the one particular form. If not, go away. But Sri Ramakrishna, that is the uniqueness. And Swami Vivekananda, on the basis of this, after observing all these qualities, much afterwards he wrote Avatara Varishtaya. He is the Varishta, the supreme, the highest. Why? Look at this. This Nanak Panthi never belonged to Sri Ramakrishna's ideology. He was practicing in different way, but he was sincere. So Sri Ramakrishna went over there out of his own, and he was helping the Vaishnavas, he was helping the Nanak Panthis. Then it is an account of the Saturday, December 22nd, 1883. Different devotees came. A devotee said, how does one obtain love for God? Those who are regularly listening to the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, or regularly reading, you know Sri Ramakrishna gave the answer previously. He will also give the answer again. But the person, when he is asking this question, it seems that he was casual, not very sincere to listen to the answer and to follow that. Sri Ramakrishna, who could understand the mind of people, he understood that he is not that sincere to know it. So he said, go forward. The king dwells beyond the 7 gates. You can see him only after passing through the gates. The 7 gates, Shapta Bhumi. And just now we were reading that in the Jnana Yoga also, that the seven gates. One after another you are crossing, you will fear. Now unnecessarily asking these, and then you are not practicing anything. Sri Ramakrishna never wanted to waste the time. So he understood that. Go, whatever you are practicing, practice. Practice sincerely, you will reach, you will understand. And then he is telling, God sports in the world as man. That man is talking about the God, and the God standing before him, he is telling, giving the hint. God plays sports in the world as man. He incarnates himself as man, as in the case of Krishna, Rama, Chaitanya. He is not mentioning about his name. He is giving the hint. But majority of us, we do not understand. We think that God means miracles. We think that God means we are free from death also. No problem will come, including death. Will be eternal. Not like that. So that is the reason Sri Ramakrishna is telling the man in the form of man, God comes. How you will know? He is full of knowledge, full of love. There is no doubt at all. Not an iota of doubt. He is clear in his conception and full of love, full of compassion. If you belong to us, then I will help you. If you don't belong to us, then you go away. I am not going to help you. That can never be a religious person. The moment you are discriminating, you are not a religious person. But you are helping them, supporting them, but following your own ideology. Nothing wrong. The Divine Mother of the universe manifests herself through this 3.5 cubit man. The man that is the measurement. So that he said, Divine Mother manifest. So that we have to understand that God is manifesting through God. The greatest manifestation of God is in man. This was the subject that we were to discuss, and Swami Vivekananda, after realizing in his own way, he realized it. Then he said, man is the tabernacle. That means, in the Jewish tradition, tabernacle is the temple. Man is that. And he is the Taj Mahal. The most beautiful thing that we see in the world is not that. It is human being. Why? The human being can manifest God within, can realize God within. Yeah, that is why man is so important. Friends, next day we will discuss a little about this divinity of man. In Vedanta, it says again and again that you are the children of immortal bliss. And Swami Vivekananda, emphatically, he said, it is the human being that one should give importance. And sometimes we misunderstand that. We think other thing is most important. Now, sometimes the report comes that a young boy, he went and picked up 2 or 3 mangoes from somebody else's garden, and they killed him. Mango? For that, killing a human being? Sometimes people, they are killing because they are drug addicts. And for their own satisfaction, they are killing his mother, father, close relatives. Can you imagine? That is the brute man. Then in the form of man, they are not understanding that they are human being. There is no difference between him or any other being or beast. Now, this is the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna that helps us to understand being a human being is so important. Now we have to manifest the divinity that is already within us. Let us offer the pranam to Sri Ramakrishna. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai ishavataram parameshamidyam tam RamaKrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Tat Sat. Sri RamaKrishna Arpanamastu. Friend, I just like to announce now here that Swami Vivekananda, the head of the Vedanta Society, RamaKrishna Mission of Singapore, he has already reached America. He is visiting some of the cities, town, and he will come in the next week, Monday. He will be here, and Friday we will go to Ganges. Friday evening after the dinner, we will have the inauguration of this session, the retreat on dedication, the why and how of it. And it will be in the Saturday the whole day, Sunday conclusion, and also, as usual, the Sunday he will give a talk over there as the Sunday service. Then we will come and we'll, after taking a little rest, we'll go to the Hindu temple Lemont, and it is from 7 to 8 in the Hindu temple. Discussion will be on Sister Nivedita. And one lady professor is also coming, Srimati Rajasri. She is a very good professor and she is trained in philosophy. She will be speaking on Sister Nivedita also. And as you know, in the evening, after that it becomes a little late because there will be another wonderful cultural program. So Hindu Temple Authority, they offer free dinner. So please come and enjoy all this. If you have not registered for the Ganges, please do. I went to Washington DC, the Swami was there. Then many of the devotees, they were telling, he's an excellent speaker. Don't miss it. Thank you very much. But please register. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult for us to allot the rooms and the things. Jai Namaskar.